So just a little housekeeping as we get started. You'll see on your display screen that there is a place where you can ask questions. And there you can ask questions throughout the webinar, and we'll take a look at those at the end when we have time to ask questions, and I'll answer those as we go. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you learn something from this. So my name is Heidi. I am the web marketing specialist for Association Connect, so I work on revising and editing copy and implementing SEO tactics onto the websites of the Association Connect members. All right, so a little overview of what we're going to talk about today. Just kind of what was mentioned in the email is we're going to give you a brief history and a couple ideas of what best practices of what SEO looks like. And then once that comes in, we'll give you a couple ideas of how you can actually implement some of those ideas onto your own site. So again, just looking at history, the best practices, what Association Connect does for you, and then how you can improve your site as well on your own. All right, so from an SEO history standpoint, is kind of an overview of that is that search engines are always changing what they're looking at and what they're looking for to rank people better or worse, and also some of the different things that have happened over the time that search engines have been around, which has been almost 15 years. So I just wanted to give you a brief timeline of what that looked like from Google's perspective of what they have taken notice of and what they have kind of changed over the last 10 or so years. So in around 2003 and before then, they were really interested in keywords and links. And the way that you could do that is you could just stuff every sort of keyword throughout there, and you were also able to buy links from, they were called link farms. But from that point on, they realized that that didn't really result in the best results for the people that were searching, so they have started to refine that from that point on. So in 2010, kind of jump ahead a few years, that's when social media started influencing search. So if your company or personally had social media, that would start affecting your search results, and that would start appearing in the search results, such as if there was a current event and there was a tweet about that on Twitter, that tweet would be able to show up in the search results. And then in 2011, there was an update by Google to their algorithm that they called the Panda update, which required quality content, so relevant information to somebody that's actually searching for it, and they also kind of downranked some lower quality sites. Then in 2012, they did an update called the Penguin, which penalizes sites with those low quality links like I was mentioning that had happened about a decade before that. And that was still something that some people had thought was still a good way to promote themselves. And also in 2012 was when local search results began to increase. So searches with in your IP address, if you were located in Minneapolis, they would start showing you Minneapolis results over like Detroit or Chicago. And then in 2013, they started developing, Google started developing something called the knowledge graph, which is essentially that Google updates to respond to context and full question searches. So if you ask Google a full question, it'll look at the whole context of the question rather than just the individual keywords within that question. So it's looking to provide you the best answer for your actual question rather than just the best response to the keywords within the question. And the three pictures I have displayed on this slide are just the three most popular search engines at this time. And then I just wanted to also touch on what Black Hat is. And Black Hat listing is basically kind of like a black market side of search engines or search engine optimization, which is SEO. And so what that means is basically you're doing something, trying to go behind the back of Google and to try to kind of trick them into ranking you higher. So some of the things that would fit under black hat or black hat listings would be keyword stuffing. So basically just throwing a keyword you want ranked for kind of incoherently within your text and within your website. Some people also would call that invisible text, so making these stuffed keywords invisible to somebody, to a visitor to your site. And then again, like I mentioned, like link farms or article farms where you're actually buying people's links because people would say the link juice, you want more link juice, but Google wants you to earn those links and not just buy them, because then they'll see that that's not actually a relevant source. So if I was a chiropractor and I had a tree farm and a pharmacy or something linking to me, obviously the Christmas tree farm linking to a chiropractor probably isn't the most likely connection. So they would probably see that as maybe not a good thing. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on quick with the history is that organic growth, so doing things kind of naturally and the right way, have always been the way that we have kind of promoted and shared SEO. Just kind of a thought is that SEO updates are unpredictable in knowing what they're going to change next. And so following what we know has been historically and recently ranked will be the best strategy for long-term health of your site. Everybody is doing, and there are definitely some ways where some of those things are good to do, but we just want to follow the things that we know have been proven to be successful over time. And some of those things obviously take time to show up and to see that they're successful, but your site will be around for a long time, and so we want to make your site successful for the long haul and not just for 3 months and then Google penalizes you. So next we'll talk about some of the best practices that are, from what Google has said and from what the industry talks about, is kind of, I guess, the big things that you want to keen in on. When I was preparing for this presentation, there was a resource from Google that made a couple statements about SEO that I just wanted to read to you. So this one says, according to Google, we'd like to say that you should base your optimization decisions first and foremost on what's best for the visitors of your site. And also, search engine optimization is often about making small modifications to parts of your website. So just remembering again that SEO is about kind of show search engines that your site is awesome, but your website should be first and foremost for your customers and what they're looking for. And when you are presenting to the customers and your customers are seeing that, or visitors to your site are seeing that, then it will also reciprocate to Google as well. So the first point on here is that content is king. That's a huge buzzword around the industry. It's basically just saying that it's not about links, it's not about keyword stuffing anymore. It's about information and education and learning and providing information that somebody wants. So that's what keywords and relevancy is, and what do your customers and potential customers want to know. So if you're writing a topic about Christmas tree farming and you're sharing about why I would want a real Christmas tree, you're going to talk about Christmas trees, and you're going to use the keywords Christmas tree farming, real Christmas tree. And all of those keywords are things you want to rank for, but you're also writing a piece that's informative and educational. So you're tying in keywords into a topic that is actually relevant, that your customers want to know what the benefit of is choosing a real Christmas tree over a fake Christmas tree. So that's an idea of what that content is, and sharing about that content in a way that somebody will actually feel informed and feel like you're a good source of information. And then another way, so links are still important to Google to see that basically that somebody is willing to link to your site and say, this is a really good article, or this is really helpful information. And for that, you get that benefit. And again, you want links from trusted sources, which is oftentimes it's bigger companies or established associations that Google kind of sees as a resource or as a trusted source. So for chiropractors, that could look at medical professional partners, different associations you're a part of, or even the city chamber that you're a part of would be a link from there, which would be called an inbound link if it's coming from an outside source to you. And then the last thing that has been growing in the last few years, like I mentioned in the history, that social factors have become a bigger part of Google search results. And what I mean by that is when you have active accounts on Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest or any other social media, and you have complete profiles, so active account meaning that you're posting and you're communicating on those platforms, and when those are connected to your website, Google will see the benefit of what you have been doing and say, oh, they're active on social media and they're having customers interact with them on there, and their customers are coming from social media to their website, and they're seeing that interaction, and they're seeing how you're using the web, and they are, I guess, rewarding you for that. So those are just a couple, just an overview of what the best practices right now in the industry are, and just some ideas of, I guess, kind of a glimpse into what we'll recommend for you and what that looks like. So what we do, I just wanted to share a little bit of what our process looks like from an Association Connect standpoint of what we do as we prepare your website to launch. So this is actually a list of what we call our website launch checklist. So we will make sure you're set up on Google Analytics and Webmaster Tools to ensure that we can track your progress, to see how many visitors you have, where your visitors are coming from, and what pages they look at the most. Information that can help you kind of develop a greater marketing plan, or just kind of to understand your customers a little better. Submitting to search engines, basically that means once we launch your site that we say to Google and to Bing, hey, this is a new site, you should probably look at it. And it just kind of encourages Google to what they call crawl or track or look at your site so that it can say, oh, that's new, that's cool. They have more information on there, I like that. 301 redirects, it's basically ensuring that none of your old pages kind of get lost and nobody gets an error page when they visit your new site, or they try to go to a page on your old site that they used to visit a lot. And so it directs your About Us page to your new About page or About the Office page. And then mobile site functionality is just double checking your mobile site, that it looks good on a phone, that it is working properly, and that it represents your business as you would want it to on the full site as well as on the mobile site. Proofreading your site, Google actually does look at proofreading and grammar as something that shows if a website or if a company is kind of well established or at least kind of aware of where they are on their site. And so we want to make sure that even if we are the ones putting in the copy, that we're also proofreading your site before we launch it to make sure that we can remove as many of those grammatical errors or any extra spaces or missing commas as we can. And then also, kind of in the same way of the 301 redirects, just verifying the links that you have on your site, whether they're to your Contact Us page or if they're to an association page, that the link is correct and that it's going to the correct page, just so you don't have any broken links on your site. And then just kind of an overview of your whole site in general, just making sure there's copy and the images are placed correctly on every page, just so we know there aren't any holes in there at all. And then the last thing we do is page titles. And what that is basically if you're going to Google chiropractors or something like that in Minneapolis, what that, in the search results, that title of what that website is, that's what a page title is. So that's something that you put in on the website side of it. You can actually tell Google, this is what I want displayed when somebody searches for my website. And so I'll give you an example in just a little bit of what that looks like. All right, so now we're getting to the fun part. We're going to talk about how you can improve your site. So again, if you have any questions, just let me know in the questions and I'll get to those at the end of the webinar. So the first thing I wanted to talk about how you can improve your website is local content. So on the next slide, I have a screenshot of both a generically keyworded Google result and a more local keyword Google result. And so what I mean by that is obviously for chiropractors and for tree farmers, you have a specific locale that you are trying to get customers from. You're not targeting all of the U.S., you're not targeting all of Minnesota or all of Ohio or all of Iowa. You're targeting a specific location, a certain mile radius, and so that's what Google wants to know is, okay, you're a chiropractor. People aren't going to come from across the nation to come and visit you. So where are you located and what kind of people are you trying to bring into you? So talking about the city you're in, talking about the community you're in, talking about local information that would help Google recognize you as, oh, you're a tree farmer in Stillwater. Okay, I want to know that information. So when somebody searches from St. Paul and they see their IP addresses in St. Paul, say, hey, that's pretty close to Stillwater. I'm going to put this Christmas tree result in there when they search for Christmas tree farm. So by generic keywords, I just basically mean something that is very general. It doesn't really give Google any information of what am I actually looking for. Am I looking for back pain information? Am I looking for somebody to help me with back pain? Am I doing a research paper on back pain? And so giving Google kind of context of what you're looking for and also providing that context on your website itself can give you that information. So you're wanting to look for both keywords you can compete for, like back pain Stillwater or back pain help in Stillwater, but also having back pain and Stillwater integrated within your website. And so what that looks like a little bit, so the top result over here is just me Googling back pain. And you can see the first few results when we look past the ads are WebMD, Mayo Clinic, Wikipedia is right up there. Obviously those are more for like research purposes, more kind of giving a definition of what back pain actually is and not necessarily somebody looking for somebody to assist them with their back pain. So trying to rank for a generic keyword like that isn't going to be very successful for you. So what I was saying about local content is like the bottom result says back pain, Stillwater, Minnesota. So you can see the first real result in there is a Stillwater chiropractor, and then there is another more of like a directory of of chiropractors and their results there as well. So just an idea of what that looks like and how kind of revising your content or writing your content to a more of a local or a more specific audience can help you rank better, knowing that you're not actually trying to get the whole internet or all of the U.S. to visit your chiropractor site. So the second way that we can improve your website is through basic SEO. And what basic SEO is it's completing titles. So like I mentioned before, page titles, which is something we do in our website checklist, completing descriptions, which is also a part of what Google kind of captures and displays on their search results, and then alt tags, which are basically descriptions of your images to tell Google this is a picture of a cat, and because otherwise Google can't read images. So it's kind of providing a description out there and also helping you be able to put in a keyword for that as well. This is our chiropractic team in Stillwater, for example. And then headers is basically the title on your page that says about us or services or contact us. So that big title on your page is considered a header. And so one of the ways that it's looked at as basic SEO is that's one of the things that when a spider or a crawler, when Google or the other search engines look over your site, they do a quick overview over some of those things. They look at the alt tags, the titles, the descriptions, and the headers. So the headers, and all of those things being that you should have your keywords in there, you should have your local information in there. But as I had mentioned in the history, is we don't want to overstuff things. We want to make things so they're also appealing to the basic reader and your usual visitor to your site. So there is definitely a balance there. So the next few slides I kind of give you example of both where you can find that on your site and also what an example of that would look like. So this is what it looks like when you log into your site. You see that little live editor bar up on top, and you click on the pages icon, and then it'll open this page that'll come up on that's displayed on the right side of the screen. And so this is what it looks like at this point. It'll have, so I clicked on the home page because that's the one that we were on, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And you can see here it says title, description, and keywords. So right now all it has in the title is home and Chiro Connect. So you can also see that displayed. So the title is up here as well in this tab. So we want to improve that so it's both kind of sharing a little bit about what Chiro Connect is, it's giving a description, and also a location. So if you look at the bottom screenshot, I revised it to say home, chiropractor, website and marketing solution. We're a website and marketing company recognizing that chiropractors need to connect with patients. And then there's a couple more words after that. And then I also included some keywords in there that I'm hoping that we would be able to rank for, and that Google would recognize as, oh, this is relevant, these are relevant keywords to what they have on their website and what they have on this page. So the other thing I wanted to point out about these titles, descriptions, and keywords is there are limits on how long they can be. So like I said, we don't want to overwhelm everybody with stuffing all of your keywords into every single page. So titles for SEO have to be 70 characters or less. Descriptions have to be 150 characters or less, and that it does include spaces. And keywords, it's recommended to have no more than 8. And usually I put about between 4 and 6 on a page when I'm doing SEO. just so the search engines can kind of see an idea of, okay, they have a very specific kind of target, a very specific idea of what they're wanting me to see this site is about. And the other thing to think about too with SEO is descriptions, keywords, and also the alt tags and the headers is not something you change every week. It's maybe something you change biannually. It's maybe something you edit annually, depending on if you've made different changes to your site, depending on if you're kind of going in a different direction, or you just want to revise it because you understand it a little better, and so you want to make sure everything's kind of up to date. So again, sometimes it takes a little bit for the search engines to look at your site and to gather all that information, and if you continue changing it, they're not actually going to be able to kind of hold on to that information that they grabbed and kind of see that you are consistent. And then this is also from the home page of the same site. I hit the edit button, that's that little wrench up at the top, and then I clicked on one of the areas to edit it, and I clicked on this image, and you can see where it says image description, and that's the same idea as the alt tag. So if you're ever on a website and you scroll over an image and it pops up with a little kind of description, or it tells you this is a computer screen with a website on it, or whatever it says about the image, that's what an alt tag is. It's helping, like I said, helping tell the search engines what that's about. And then also with so below this last image down here is just showing you where the headers are. So if you look at the top, this improved patient connection and marketing education, that's a header 1 tag. So there actually are multiple tags you can use. Google, obviously being a larger header, will look at the header weight and look at the header 3s. So to change something into a header or to change it back into something else, you go under formats in the editing bar and you hit header 1 or header 2 and her header 3 when you have the text highlighted. And so another area, so we just have 3 more areas to talk about how you can improve, and what that looks like is in social media. Oops, sorry. Oops. In social media, we're just talking about how you can improve social media. So I've mentioned this a couple times that both in the best practices and in the history that Google has been looking favorably on social media activity for businesses. So just kind of going to go into a little detail about what that looks like. So for social media, that means, first of all, that you have social media accounts. You have a Facebook, and you have a Twitter, or you have one of those social media accounts that you are active on. And it's better to be active and like regular on one account than to have 6 accounts that you don't use any of them. So what I mean by regular activity, first of all, you have your page created, you have all of your business information updated, you have a description, you have your hours, you have your address, you have a link to your website, and you're also posting regularly. So you're sharing information both about your office, about your industry, about your different products and services on a regular basis, whether you're consistently posting once a week or you're consistently posting twice a week. And I know you already have the marketing done for you, which is posting for you as well. So that's definitely a good place to start at. And so what that looks like is you're also posting relevant information. So you're not just posting a funny picture that you saw on your normal Facebook and you decided to post it on your business Facebook as well. Something that's actually relevant that the people that like your business page will actually want to see. And for some people, I know for the Christmas tree farmers, is they're often a very family-oriented, a family-owned business, and so sharing pictures of their families working on the tree farm is a very relevant topic to share, but that may not be the case for a chiropractor. So kind of evaluating the people that you have that are following you on your Facebook page, and also the people that you would like to follow, because I'm assuming you would want to increase the number of people that like your page with information that would be relevant to them. And so another thing that Google sees is, okay, you're posting regularly, but are you actually interacting with and kind of talking with people? So it's one thing to post something and then just kind of leave it be. But if somebody comments on something, or they write a review about you, or they send you a message, or they talk about you in another way, like if they tag you in their status, if you know what that is replying to that and saying, hey, thanks for stopping by, or that's a great comment, let me get you some more information on that. And just following up with them to see that you're actually interacting with your fans, not just face-to-face, but also online as well. So all of these things that I'm talking about how you can improve is, I know it's kind of a lot to take in right now. So if you, like I said, if you have questions, you can ask me once we get done with this information, or you can always send us a follow-up email. If you go to Chiro Connect or Christmas Tree Connect, there's a support form there that you can fill out, and we can follow up with you with any questions you have. So Google, so obviously if you're Google, you're going to favor yourself. So what Google has is they have their own social media platform called Google+, but they also have a way for businesses to make a Google+ page. And what that does is, if you ever have done a search on Google and you've seen a map and have the upside down teardrops on there that have kind of pointed out where those different businesses are, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So that's what that looks like for local businesses. And so the benefit of that is Google sees that you've taken the time to verify, create an account, and to say, hey, this is my business, this is what we do, and we want you to see that we're here, and also to be able to share that information with Google. Google will kind of bump you up over somebody that doesn't have that in most cases. So what I mean by verify accounts, you can create a business account, you can just type in your address, and sometimes Google will have like kind of a generic or a pretty empty listing for you, and you'll just say, claim my business. And part of the verification process, if that's actually that your business, is they'll either call you at your business number, or they'll send you a postcard and give you a little PIN number to verify that you received that information, that your business is real. So like with the Facebook and the Twitter and the other social media accounts, I definitely recommend completing all of the information that is available for you to fill out. So filling out your address, adding your hours, adding a description, adding any relevant photos that you want to post on there. And then the other benefit of Google, kind of like if you've looked at Yelp or some of those other directory sorts of things, is in Facebook as well, is that Google allows people to write reviews about you or give you 4 out of 5 stars. And so a good way for Google to see that you're a great business is you have your account on Google, and then they also see that you have reviews about you. So once you get your Google page set up, you can tell people, clients when they come in, visitors to the farm, that you should go on Google and rank us and thank us for being, and just a way for you to say, thanks for being a loyal customer, write a good review on us about Google. The other thing I just wanted to mention too about the reviews on Google is they will post good and bad reviews. So that is somewhat of a downside, as if somebody writes a bad review about you, there's nothing you can do to take that away. And I think in some cases it's good for people to see that you don't just always get 5 stars, because I feel like sometimes that doesn't always seem like that's a real business if everybody is satisfied 100% of the time. So just so you know that if somebody is upset with an experience they had at your business, and if they write a bad review about you, that will show up, and there's not really anything you can do to take that away. But that's okay, because you can always reply to them and see if you can resolve that. And then the last thing that we have for ways to improve is with your copy. So one of the things I mentioned during the best practices is that content is king, or copy is king. And so what that means is, kind of with all of these things, is we want to provide information. We want to provide information for a visitor that they actually are looking for. So are they looking for information about back pain? Can we provide information about back pain? Are they doing research about back pain? And maybe we can provide that information and share information about what we do at our clinic about how we can help them with that. Or are there other topics that your business is kind of an expert in and that you can share about? Or even in your services page, describing your services in a little more detail than just a list, so that somebody that's looking for a chiropractor in Minneapolis and sees your page and visits you, that they'll get as much information as they want before they can make a decision to call. And so as the internet has developed, people have become a lot more independent and wanting to do a lot more of their own research up front before actually calling a company. So being able to provide that information online, both using your keywords and your local information, but ultimately providing information that somebody can benefit from and somebody can see, is going to be something that is going to benefit both you with Google and the other search engines, but also benefiting the visitors for the information that they are receiving. So that kind of covers all of the information that I wanted to share with you. Like I said before, it's kind of a lot of information to take in, especially if you're not very familiar with SEO and kind of what it means, but I wanted to create an overview and also to give you some points of some things that you can work on, or at least understand a little bit more about where we're coming from and how we're trying to help you get on the right foot. If you are interested in learning more about SEO, or you're kind of overwhelmed with all that we have to offer with SEO, we actually have a couple different options for you. Like I said, I do copy and do SEO for Association Connect and can help you out with that. And we have a couple different packages for people that really think that that's something that's beneficial, but also might see as a benefit to you. So again, like I said, you can always ask me a question on here, or you can send us an email, both to either from the support form or to email me directly, and let me know what questions you have about SEO. But I hope you all learned something from this presentation, and if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those now. Okay, everyone is unmuted. If you wanted to ask a question now, would be a great time to do so. No questions? I must have been a really great speaker if you don't have anything to ask me from that presentation. All right, well, if you have any more questions, you know how to contact us. Thank you so much for attending our webinar today about a practical approach to SEO. Thank you again. Have a great day.